Hello everybody and welcome to the Tartar Zone on this Friday afternoon. And the timeless children argument still rumbles on Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, you name it. Social media is going absolutely crazy over this whole thing. I have seemed to upset everybody on the other side of the fandom with the comments that I've made about the timeless children. But while I was going through some of the comments of people, someone brought up a very good point, which we all missed, actually. So the other side have been saying that Time Lords are evil and are bad. And this is their excuse. This is their reasoning behind the fact that they're not upset about Tecteun basically murdering the timeless child, right? But the thing about it is, and I only copped this myself today, well, there's one flaw, and there's a huge flaw in the thing that I've said. She wasn't a Time Lord at the time. She was a Gallifreyan. And so was the rest of the people. They were not Time Lords. They only became Time Lords after she experimented and murdered a child. So to say that the Time Lords were all evil and bad, your argument actually goes out the window, because Tecteun wasn't actually evil. And the reason why I know she isn't evil is because I've obviously been doing a little bit of research myself last night, because I wanted to kind of find out what her character was all about, and I did. So she's described as warm, strong, but tough, and she's in her 40s. Says nothing about her being a murderer or being evil. And the reason why that is because the Time Lords weren't even founded yet. They were Gallifreyans. She found an abandoned child. She basically kidnapped that child, brought the child back to Gallifrey, looked after the child. The child had an accident. And then after the accident, then this woman's complete character arc, if there is any, completely changes from her description. She starts murdering this child multiple times. And even when she's murdering the child, she doesn't know if that child's going to regenerate. Remember that as well, right? So she murders that child over and over and over again. How many times did she actually murder the child? We don't know for sure, but we do know it was definitely over a dozen times, right? So again, this argument from Mr. Tardar's Reviews and all of the other people out there, YouTubers that decided to have a go at me, well, yous are wrong, okay? Because Tecteun was not a Time Lord, all right? She brought the child back, then she experimented on the child, and then the Time Lords were founded, all right? So no, yous are wrong. The Time Lords weren't evil. And by the way, yous are actually wrong anyway. The Time Lords in the show, we've always got little snippets, right? They've either done something bad or they've done something good, right? But to say that the Time Lords are bad, they're not. There's some good out there, even in New Who. So I don't know where, because they've been spoken about. So I don't even know where you're going with all of this, that the Time Lords are all this, Even in School Reunion, when the Doctor has that conversation with the Krillitane leader in the pool, right? The Krillitane leader actually says, I thought you were a docile race or whatever it was, to the point of insolence or whatever it was, he said, right? So don't be giving me this, that the Time Lords were all evil and all this, when in the show, even in New Who, they have actually said something opposite. Right? And then later on in Moffat's era, yes, the Time Lords did do things during war, like we all do. Like the Brits did during war when they were fighting 2 world wars. You do things that you're not really proud of, but you do it anyway. It doesn't mean that they're all bad. Right? So this whole argument that Time Lords are evil, and this is the reason why the Doctor left Gallifrey, is a load of bullshit. It's bullshit. They're all going mad at me because I turned around and said it was child abuse and murder. And anybody that came out with any excuses to defend it was actually condoning it. And I'm not going to change my opinion on that. Anybody that comes out to defend this, you are condoning it. And I don't care what you all say. But you know what? I'm surprised they didn't cop that. The fact that she wasn't actually even a Time Lord at the time that she was murdering the bloody child. Right? And they've been going around for the last 2 or 3 days saying, but the Time Lords are evil. The Time Lords are bad. So I can get why the Doctor ran away from Gallifrey and all, because the Doctor was experimented on. I know, they were still Gallifreyans. She chose who became Time Lords. Remember, we seen the whole thing on the Timeless Child, even though it wasn't explained too well. They still explained it to a certain extent. Then she set up a faction, if you remember. She chose who was Time Lords and blah, blah, blah. She chose the regenerations, blah, 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 blah. Load of crap. Load of crap. Right? It doesn't suit our character. And by the way, I will show you that little, because, you know, we'll have some of the J-bots saying, well, can you prove the fact that Chris Chibnall said that she was warm and stuff? I can. And I'm going to. So just give me a second, because this is funny, right? Chris Chibnall writes her as warm, but she's warm, tough, but she's a strong woman. So hold on, where's this? By the way, we have a couple of J-bots, right? Jodie and Sasha bot on Twitter. Don't care mentioning their name. It's not even their real name anyway. Going around now, has screenshot me me latest poll now, and is getting everybody. See, this is what I'm saying. They won't even leave me alone, right? I tried to stay away from these idiots, and they won't leave me alone. Apparently, on their biggest enemy, Noel is rude. Noel needs to be taken down. All of this crap. You aren't taking me down. How many times do I have to tell you, clowns? I'm not going anywhere. Right, but let's get that. Clip up. Hold on. Actually, do you know what I'll do? I'll get my video up, but I'll have to pause it because the music in it is not copyright free music. See, when I do little videos like that as well, I don't monetize them because you know yourself, it's give something back to you guys. So when I do little videos like that, I don't bother. It's just the streams that I monetize. And we're only what, 3 minutes in, and I'm already at the check in the YouTube studio, and this stream has been limited, and I haven't said much. Right? I haven't said much, and the stream is limited already. Right? This is what YouTube do. Right, where is this? It's there it is. It's only a 2-minute video, so we won't play the whole video. Actually, I will, but I'll put the sound down for you, right? Actually, it'd be good if I shared it first, wouldn't it? Right, let's screen share this. Right, so this is the video that I put up, was it last night? Or this morning before I went to bed. Right? So I want you to have a look at this. And I'll be back in a second. I'm going to leave the sound off for you. It's 2 minutes. Just watch the video there. Because you're not going to stay on me. Oh, they could be on mind, but sorry about that. Ted is being a little bit of a baby. Has my video froze? Oh no. There you go. So there it is there, right? So it says, cut to equals image, close up of Tecteun, looking down the lens, 40, smart, tough, warm. A small golden planet hanging in space, a battered small explorer spacecraft hangs in orbit. Nothing about her being a murderer, nothing about her being evil or bad. She is actually warm, tough, and smart. So when she goes to kill the Timeless Child later on in the show, and this is what I've been saying about Chris Chibnall's character development, right? Even when it gets to that stage and she murders the child, you don't believe it because there hasn't been a setup. There was no way. I'm sorry, but it just doesn't make any sense. Chris Chibnall does this with everybody. But that's it anyway. I'm not going to go into the whole gist of the video. If you want to watch the video, you can watch the video and see what I had to say. I've also put it up on Twitter. Not the YouTube version. I've put it up on Twitter and I've pinned it to my profile. What I want you to do is, anybody that follows me, share the video on YouTube, share it to any YouTube channel, share the Twitter video if you see it on Twitter. I want you to get this all around. So Tecteun was not a Time Lord when she murdered the timeless child, and I'm actually pissed off that I actually didn't cop it myself. Because this is their biggest. This has been their biggest argument, and it falls flat. It falls flat. The Time Lords might, before the timeless child was murdered, Gallifreyans, we even with Chris Chibnall, he didn't tell us much, but we could see that they weren't really. They were just an ordinary people like us, and then of course, then the child has an accident, and then we get what we got. Series 12 finale, and Chris Chibnall expects us to accept that. But the J-bots, you are wrong again. The fact of the matter is, you don't even know your own history. You are clueless. The fact that most of you have come out and said that the Time Lords are bad when she wasn't even a Time Lord yourselves. And to those YouTubers out there that seem to have had a pop at me, yeah, you know who you are, right? Listen, I know your channels are struggling. And fighting with me now seems to be the norm for everybody because it seems to get their channel recognized. Listen, the bottom line is this: the both of you are twats, right? The both of you have been going around speaking behind me back. Yeah. And then when you are approached, then you haven't got the balls to face me, right? You are both idiots. You both need to shut the fuck up. All right. You's going to do your own thing, and I will say this, Mr. Carter's reviews. Shut your mouth talking about me, by the way, and shut your mouth talking about Ballstrek as well. Do us all a fucking favor, right? And do your Doctor Who videos and shut the fuck up about what we have to say. I don't care if you agree with us anymore, right? You're just an idiot, right? Just like the rest of them, you're an idiot, right? The timeless child, yeah, was murdered by a woman, and you back that, right? Just like the other idiots out there, use back that and use condone it. So you are not fans of this show, and you know what? It's all the same gobshites, that have been supporting this show since 2005 have come out to try justify this timeless child story arc, right? The older fans are the ones that are giving out. It seems to be the ones that have only joined this fandom that are defending this crap. And the reason why it's those fans is because they don't understand the show. They pretend to be fans. I was talking to one. I'm not going to leave after Jodie Whittaker is gone. So you're not a fucking fan then. Get away. Get out of the fandom. Right? Anybody here just in this fandom because they're a fan of Jodie Whittaker, do me a favor. Get out of the fandom. You're not welcome anymore. You're not welcome because you don't let anybody else have opinions in the fandom. Right? Jodie Whittaker is this precious little angel to you, and she's not. Right? She's a horrible human being. And she is. The stuff that she's come out with, she's a horrible human being. She's horrible. She's not a nice person at all. She has this disdain towards men. You all give out to me, oh, you have this thing in for Jodie. Of course I do. She hates men. Right? And she might be married to one. But trust me, the one that she's married to is probably a little bitch and does everything that that he's told to do. Right? She is vile. Right, we've seen her. Right, she did the stylist videos when the fans were giving out about our casting. That was the first indication. Second indication was all the crap that came out of her mouth at the time. Right, she is a vile person, just like Chris Chibnall. They're cold, they're vile. They have no respect for the fandom, and it shows with his writing. The Timeless Children is an abomination. She was not murdered. The timeless child, the doctor, whoever you want to call her, was not murdered by a Time Lord. The Gallifreyans, for what Chris Chibnall described them as first, when we seen that whole arc, they were a peaceful people. Peaceful people. Peaceful! Right, let's bring on a few guests to actually rip this whole argument apart. Because You know, I could sit here all day ranting and raving about it, but we're going to bring on a few guests because this was overlooked by us all, to be quite honest with you. At the time she killed the timeless child, she was not a Time Lord. The Time Lords were not even a thing. They were just Gallifreyans. So for people out there that are saying that the Time Lords were always evil, they actually weren't. So go and do your research, yeah. And actually, if you're going to talk crap, at least educate yourself. Everybody check their emails. I have sent a few people the link. I am not going to put the link in the live chat anymore because I'll tell you why. That 4-hour live stream that we did, that went very well. I can't give me reasons. I really can't. I wish I could because people on the other side are going to say, well, he took it down for a different reason. But I might have to take down that video, that stream. One of the guests that joined us is not happy about the performance on the panel and has asked me to remove the live stream. Now, I'm caught in two minds whether to do this or not. I've tried to edit the person out, but I can't. Right? So they said if I can't, they've asked me to remove the video. But here's the thing, and I was speaking to other people as well, but here's the thing. You agreed to appear on the stream. Now, when you agree to appear on the stream, you know, I'm not responsible for your behavior. I can tell you that there's, you know, that there's certain rules or whatever, but I can't stop anybody from coming on to me stream if they've had a few drinks. But I will say this, I think it's highly unfair that I have to remove this stream. It's like it's got the most views of videos that I've had this week, and you're asking me to remove it. Now, you're only a new guest as well, and that's what annoys me. And it's a 4-hour stream. So if I do decide to remove it, we're going to do the stream again. I'm going to bring on the same guests, and we're going to do it again, bar the guest that was the problem. Because I don't see why I always have to take a hit, right? It's the same when I do acting on this channel, right? I show a clip. I'm the one that's getting the hit all the time, right? I got a copyright strike the last time because I shared a video. I'm sick of this, that I seem to be the one that seems to be getting it in the neck on this channel all the time. So I'm done. Right, let's bring on our guest. We got Problem Being. Welcome.
Hello.
I'll do a big long intro because, you know,
Yeah.
no point.
No point. Don't worry about it. It's all good.
But yeah. But isn't it funny that they never actually, when they were all going around defending this timeless children's story arc, that none of them actually realized that Tecteun wasn't even a Time Lord when she was.
Bogan.
Yeah. So I mean,
that we've never heard of before.
No, but I mean, would you want to add your opinion to it anyway? I mean, it is. You've seen all the response. It's absolutely ridiculous.
I've been off Twitter pretty much all day.
Public enemy number one. Right?
It doesn't take a lot. Doesn't take a lot now. Having an opinion these days puts you as the enemy number one. Listen, if they want to disagree, go ahead, knock yourselves out, disagree. But you know, at least get a life and just agree to disagree. That's the nature of fandom. That's the nature of reality. Twitter is not reality.
Yeah, but they won't. And here's the thing. I know you've been behind the scenes with Rabbi. Rabbi's been doing the same to try and broach some sort of, well, I'll say peace agreement is too big of a word. But you are trying to get some sort of truce going. Now, I'm going to throw a spanner in the works and say that there'll never be a truce in this fandom.
Well, I think it's a case of hearts and minds.
This is why there'll never be a truce in this fandom, Lee. And this is why. It's because no matter what we do or say, these people are not going to be happy, right? It'll be something else, right? It'll be a different issue. If it's not Jodie Whittaker and we bring up something else, it'll be something else they have a problem with, right? I've had people send me message requests just to call me a bollocks and stuff, right? It's absolutely ridiculous. And then their behavior. Well, I want you to block me now. No, I won't block you. No, I won't block you, because then you'll go, because no, but this is what they want to do. Ah, look, because I've already seen it, a couple of people I have. Now, a couple of J-bots, I'll put up a couple of polls, right? Now, it doesn't matter which way they vote, it's still going to look bad for Jodie Whittaker, but they've gotten a hold of one of my polls where I ask, why has Jodie Whittaker failed as the 13th Doctor? Is it bad writing? Is it bad acting? Or is it both? And they've got a hold of this poll. Now, I know what they're going to do. They're gonna try vote the bad writing. But either way, it doesn't matter. These are proving me point. We know Chris Chibnall's a bad writer. So I've designed these polls that no matter what you do, and no matter what you vote, because are still voting in a poll, I'll accept the bad writing because I know it's bad writing. Right? I'll accept the bad acting because we know it's the bad acting. I'll even accept both, but it doesn't matter what you do. You can try rig that poll all you want. It doesn't matter. I've RT'd it anyway, and I told people to RT it for a fair result. I don't care how this poll goes, to be quite honest. The William Hartnell one I did because I wanted to prove a point to you fans that we're not going anywhere. And I will say it. I didn't say it. I've said it online, but I haven't actually said it on this channel, and I'll say it. I'm proud of every single person in this fandom that voted in that poll, that shared that poll, and made sure that William Hart. Now, I got criticised. Well, you're telling people to share for a fair result, but yeah, you went and you told everybody to vote Hartnell. Yeah, after the fact that they tried to rig the poll, of course I was going to. Of course, why wouldn't I? I'm going to defend the legacy of a doctor that we all love, which is the Fourth Doctor. And no matter what you all say, by the way, the BBC are still saying, still to this day, so the Timeless Children's Story arc, and you should ask yourselves this question, J-Bots. Why isn't the BBC, why is the BBC still giving the Doctor's numbers, by the way? The Timeless Children's Story arc changed that. The numbering system is now fucked. So why is he still calling William Hartnell the First Doctor? Why is he still calling Patrick Troughton the second, Pertwee the third? I'll tell you why. Because deep down BBC don't like this. And to them, the numbering system, the way the Doctors are, is just fine. Right? Chris Chibnall just thought he'd come in and, you know, he looked at it. And someone did make the point. He came in and he thought, I'll be the man to change canon. I'll be the man to tell everybody, I give the origin of Doctor Who. I'm the man that can do that. Yeah. We see how that's gone already. Let's see if we can bring on a couple of other guests. The Wolf and the Storm is in the chat. Do me a favor, if you want to come on, because I'd like to bring you on again. If you'd like to come on for a few minutes, do me a favor. Send me an email on Messenger. Oh, not on Messenger, on Twitter in the private DMs, and send me your email address because I don't have your email address. I'm not putting the link in the chat anymore. It was the worst leading decision I've made. Why do I do that? Annoying me. Like, imagine, I'm still pissed off about that. I don't want to take that stream down, and I'm going to be out straight with it. Rabbi thinks I should because it reflects badly on me, but at the end of the day, if you come on as a guest, you already know.
People have to take personal responsibility for what they do on streams.
And as I said to him anyway, nobody gives a crap. Everybody thought you were funny. Yeah, it got a little bit uncomfortable, but, like, you know, you didn't go, you know, if I had been asked by the girls to, you know, can you tell him to stop or whatever, then obviously I would have.
Well, he didn't give away any personal information. So.
No, that's what I mean. It's not even his real name. So I don't know. I got this whole big, long message. Will you please, because I might do some harm to me. And I'm like, but listen, you come on to me stream as a guest, right? There's risks when you come on, right? Yeah, I mean, if you're going to act like an ass,
he gave his consent, so yeah. I mean, it's a bit unfair to take down an entire 4-hour stream.
I know it's 4 hours. That's what I mean.
Or to edit it. You know, it makes a lot to do.
It's gotten over 500 views, and people actually like the stream. It was one of the best bloody streams, man. We had everybody got a bit of a time. You know, we did it properly this time. Everybody got their point of views across. It was a great stream.
Yeah, I know. That's a good lesson anyway in making sure that when you have guests that come on, is that they've proven track record of being in the chat for some time. So there we go.
Yeah, I wanted to do something new to give the new voices that we never had a chance.
It was an experiment.
better ways of doing it, but I'm not doing that again because I mean, look,
it always takes one bad apple
I
to
was a bit
ruin the
suspicious
cider.
anyway. I was a bit suspicious anyway when they come on because it was like, right, we've never seen this person, and then all of a sudden, then I'm asked to take it down, and then I'm thinking, well, is it a J-bot that came on to pretend to be, you know, pretend to be one of us, and then like this was applied to have the stream taken down because it does deal with the timeless children, and this is what has caused a lot of ructions in the fandom lately. See, I think of all these things because I've been screwed over and the things that have happened. So I always have a suspicious head. And I'm being honest, and I'm going to be out straight here. That's what I think it is. That's what I think it is because they haven't showed up since.
Mm. Well, you know, that's life.
It stays up until I replace it anyway. So either way, I've already spoke to people on Twitter. You probably see I've added you to a chat group. I'm organising that stream again. I'm organising that stream again, and then when that stream goes up, I'll remove the other one, right? But I'm not removing it until 500 views. No way. And not only that, I lose the super chats as well, right? People giving me super. I don't think people realise what happens when you delete a video. No, I'm not. I'm sorry. You come onto the channel. You know, when I do the other stream, I'll replace it, but I'm not removing it right now. No. And I don't care if it reflects badly. I mean, we all have our issues. I even have me issues, and I still stream. And sometimes I say things on this channel that some people wish I didn't. It happens.
I think it's a matter of faith. You know, in good faith, that person was supposed to come on. In good faith, you allowed that person to come on. It was a two-way agreement. That's a sort of contract, if you like.
That's what I mean. It's not as if I forced them on. You know.
No. At the end of the day, and I hate saying that expression, but you know, you have to take that responsibility. And unfortunately, if you're not happy with it afterwards,
but here's the thing. You're not going to lose your job because number one, you gave a false name when you came on. Second of all, you weren't even on camera. Nobody seen you because you didn't have your name. So you could be any person out there. By the way, you sounded a bit like Marty that we have on here. So if anybody was to listen to you, they would actually probably think that you were Marty or something because Marty.
It wasn't Marty.
So I mean, it's all no offense, but Scottish people to me, like Irish people to everybody else around the world. You know, they all sound the same.
Oh my god, you're gonna get taken down for that now. They're gonna, oh my god, he's a racist.
Yeah, well, you know what I mean. I'm not mean it. You know what I mean. I mean, like, you know, Dublin. People know when you're from Dublin. Trust me, because the Dublin accent is very unique, you know, to the rest of the country. You know, but yeah, the Scottish accent just seems all the same to me. So, like, I know, yeah.
Unless you're a critical drinker, his voice is so distinguished.
Yeah,
it's like a very fine whiskey.
Yeah. Well, listen, let's get back to the and I'm bringing on the Wolf and the Storm. The reason why I'm bringing on the Wolf and the Storm as well, though, is because the Wolf and the Storm obviously is a man. So I want to hear her point of view on the whole, because I never asked her when I had her on, actually, and that was the one regret.
She's a man. That's news.
What?
You said she's a man.
I said she's a woman.
Okay, rewind, everyone. Yeah, I mean,
woman. I definitely said woman.
Yeah, sure, you did.
I
did. But I'll just say this on the whole situation. Listen, wait. On the whole timeless child thing. Look, you don't have to agree. You don't have to disagree. It's an opinion. It's an opinion shared by quite a few other people. It was shared with some of the panel of the at the Comic-Con panel. So Noel's not just pissing in the wind here.
Email is sent, by the way. And by the way, it's not. No, sorry, I disagree with you there. It's not just an opinion. Their opinion is wrong.
No, I mean, I'm just saying. No. You are. It's still an opinion. It's a valid opinion. That's the difference. Now, they can argue the validity of that, but at the end of the day, and again, I've said it twice, I'm so sick of it, you've made it, and you're sticking by it, and that's tough luck to them. You know, I mean, it's a fair point to argue on, but for it to be argued in such a debased way, to try to invalidate your opinion. That's not how you argue a point. You see, you've got to acknowledge that. Well, yes, actually, this is something which is very antithetical, I think, to Doctor Who and a family show. Okay, they bring in things like Torchwood and Russell T Davies and what he did in that. That's not a children's show. Yeah, kids watch it, but it's an adult show. Yeah. This is a family show.
Exactly, huge difference. And yeah, I have loved the examples that they've given, because it really just does go to show that they're scraping the barrel, and that's what they're doing. They're scraping the barrel because the examples that they're given are not actually in Doctor Who at all. They're actually referencing other shows and referencing.
Yeah, that's a straw man argument. That's stick to the subject in hand. Is this antithetical to Doctor Who? I mean, it's very clear. I mean, if anyone's being honest in this discussion, it's very clear that the whole idea, and it was in that guy's video who did a pseudo academic essay on it,
right?
Where he used one French female philosopher of the postmodernist school to actually validate his views, which is not academic. Yeah. It only shows one side, so that's skewed. But what he did was he said that the Time Lords represent the white male patriarchy and colonialism, and that is a very disingenuous argument. But it is also the actual raison d'être of the BBC currently. That's what they want to do. They want to influence the show, use it as a platform for postmodernist theory, critical theory, and feminist theory. And it's so clearly and so obvious, and they will do absolutely anything. It's nothing's off the table in order to promote this form of ideology, and it's so clear cut. And if anyone denies that, then you're not being honest. Simple as that.
Right, we've got the Wolf and the Storm here. Welcome, by the way. Nice to have you on board again.
Hi, guys.
Hello.
It's funny. Hi, Lee. It's funny you should say that. Yeah, I saw a portion of that video where they were trying to equate what the Time Lords were to British colonialism. I have a little bit of stake in that, being that I have a history degree, so I do know a little bit about that.
Do you want to? Your mic's very low. Are you on mobile or something?
Yeah, I'm on my phone. Do you want me to transfer to my laptop instead?
That'd be amazing.
Leah's giving orders on this channel. You do whatever you want, love.
Well, I'm just thinking for the audience who are listening in, because it's quite hard for me to hear as well.
Well, you have a point there.
But I didn't have my volume turned completely off. Is that better now?
Yeah, that's much better. Much better.
Well, okay, so they're saying that the Time Lords are equivalent to white male patriarchy and British colonialism.
Yeah.
That was mostly started by men, and yet, according to Chibnall's way to fix this, his version of Time Lord society was completely peaceful, with minor abilities in science until Tecteun, a woman, went forward on her own, found this child, experimented on this child, and used her genetics in order to form the framework of the Time Lord race, which eventually went on to become what they became. So,
yeah, but
yourself, because
sorry, Lisa, that was addressed in that pseudo academic video. If anyone wants to look at that up, if I can find it, I'll post the link in the chat. But he says she was displaying masculine traits, and then she regenerated. Her first regeneration was into a man. Wow. So therefore, she was betraying her feminism by using masculine traits, and she was a victim of the patriarchy because she was displaying these traits. And it's so much reaching in this critical theory nonsense.
Chibnall and others do, and the people that actually support this, they try to. I mean, the articles that we have trying to defend this rubbish have been an absolute joke. I think we swapped over now, so we'll remove that one, and then we'll add. Oh no, there we go.
Hold on.
So, there you go. Right.
How is that even possible, though? I mean, okay, look, it's widely known that Time Lords, when they have this ability to regenerate, I will say that some are better at it than others. I mean, look at the doctor. But many of them are very good at it and can choose well whatever she did to regenerate into a man for the first time. I'm pretty sure that was her own decision. I don't think that it was just by accident. She did that on her own. So, like, come on.
Yeah, I mean, it's very inconsistent. This is why I tend to think that behind Chibnall is the wheel of the machine in which Pierce Wenger, whatever, is pulling the strings. But I think that through the translation that trickles down through the production, it's missing the mark of exactly what they're trying to do.
Yeah.
So I don't believe Chibnall actually fully 100% grasps.
Look, if someone in the panel said it. Someone in the panel said it on that panel, right? They said it out straight. Chris Chibnall didn't know what he was doing at all. He just hadn't got a clue, and then gave us this lazy, and that's what it is. It's a lazy story arc. It's absolute. But listen, getting back to what this is actually about, right? And it's about Tecteun and the fact that she murdered, multiple murdered and experimented on a child, and the fans on the other side have obviously been given their opinion on it. They've also been given examples which are kind of poor. But I think what swung this argument last night is when I found that piece of information that actually explained her character. Now, the question I want to ask you is, if that's what her character was, so she was strong, warm. This is what she was described as: strong, warm, in her 40s, but tough.
Then why didn't she explore that portal? Why didn't she try and explore that and try and get the child home? Why didn't she try to take the child home?
Exactly. You would, if you're an explorer, right? You're not just gonna. You're right. You're not just gonna. You see a child there and say, "All right, well, there's a big."
Right, you're mine now.
Take the child home. It's grand. I'll just take the child home. I'll raise her as we go, and then as soon as she has an accident, then I'm gonna turn into this murdering psychopath. And it doesn't make any sense because I haven't been written properly. So, but you'll just have to wing it as the audience because this is what I've been written like, and that's exactly what Chris Chibnall has done with all of these characters. Even Monique Gill, she's a copper and she stood still. She's never been to work in the bloody show, I don't think. And I mean, in fairness, right?
Once, just to be told how amazing she was.
In real life, though, if you've seen her as a cop, would you take her seriously? Because I know for a fact that if I was stopped by her, Monique Gill, and she really was an officer, I would actually be laughing. I couldn't take her seriously as a cop. Are you joking? Get away. Absolutely ridiculous. All these characters, including the doctor, is crap, right? Yeah. No character that she stood still. And here's the thing, someone even mentioned it. Christmas special or festive special, whatever it is, nobody gives a flying fuck at this stage. But anyway, whatever special it is, yeah, right? I can guarantee it, right, that the timeless child, right, won't even get a mention. Won't even get a mention because he's already, if you remember, because see, I always check out for these articles and I always get sent articles, but then I end up going back to them because it must be very interesting at the time what they said. But remember, Chris Chibnall already said before Series 12 that we would get answers on the timeless child, but we wouldn't get them all. And he also said in the very same article, well, it mightn't be addressed in the next series either. So it'll be a long wait before we get to know all the answers, is what he said.
Well, they're going to be scrabbling around.
He might have been put under pressure now because of the way it's went, Lee. The way it's went, it hasn't went exactly the way he planned. So he might actually You know, he might actually change the timeline on it. But I mean, how the hell did he think anyway that this was the right way to go? And let's be honest, I honestly, and a lot of people have said this on this panel, and I actually have to agree. This guy actually thinks what he's writing is fantastic, right? I mean, you think someone in the BBC would have the guts to say, listen, you know, you might think you're this genius writer, but have you seen the ratings, mate? Like, you need to do something. You know, someone pull him aside, like Moffat or something. Come on, man. What you doing? You're running the show into the ground. You have to do something. But I don't know.
I think it's an environment based on fear at the BBC. I reckon what's going on at the BBC is people are afraid to put their head above the parapet because they know they'll be named, shamed, and removed. Simple as that. I really do think that. I think it's people are afraid to speak their mind there. And I think that they are keeping their heads down because they want to keep their jobs. I believe there's a culture change that's happened there thanks to the likes of Common Purpose. I think that, I think it's literally a sort of very Maoist kind of struggle session environment where if you dare to say anything controversial, i.e. sensible things, then you're likely to be ousted in some way.
You know what? I keep getting this off J-Bots as well. No, we actually agree with some of the stuff you say.
You can see it in the fandom. You can see it in the fandom.
We just don't agree with the way you word it. No.
Tough.
See, what it is one or two people might have a problem. And then because, as Lee has spoken about, because I do believe this is happening on the J-Bot side. I know there's Jodie Whittaker fans out there that know that this show is crap, right? But they're afraid to say anything because they'll know that they're wrong.
They'll be null zoned.
We'll bully them.
They'll be null zoned.
Well, we've already seen the show. William and who, me and him were willing to work together to try get a stream going. That night we were putting up tweets. It was all friendly. Everything was great. I wake up the next morning and he deleted all the tweets and he blocked me because he was warned by the other side. Someone had gotten to him and said, "What are you doing? What are you making look at? What are you?" Probably it was this. "What are you making Knowles Owen look good for?" Blah 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 blah. Don't be blah blah because he took them down straight away.
It's peer pressure.
Even if there is fans that agree with me out there, they're afraid to say that because the other side, their own side is attacking them. Well, all I'll say to you guys is, you know, you should stick to your convictions, you know. And if you did come over to this side, trust me, you'd get the protection.
If your remit is to bully people into keeping them in line, maybe you're not the good guys. Because if you're using tactics like that to keep everyone in line and to stay on message, then you're really not that decent in that respect.
Well, I know, and I'm going to say it out straight, I know. And as I said, I mentioned a couple of YouTubers earlier. They seem to have a hard on for me and Bolstrek. Now, Bolstrek hasn't been on Twitter in a few weeks. And I just say to those two YouTubers, you want to shut your mouth talking about my friend, right? He hasn't been on Twitter. He got off Twitter because he decided to take a break from idiots like you. So stop talking about him because it's starting to look a bit possessive. Just like the J-Bots with me. Even though I block someone, right, another one pops up, right? Bottom line is, as I said, you come onto my Twitter account. I'm going to retweet your tweets, right? I'm not going to say that. I'm going to retweet your tweets. If you come on to me and I'm not following you and you come on to say something to me, I have every right to do what I want, right? And I'll retweet those tweets. And I don't care what happens after the fact. You come onto my page, right? I retweet your tweet. And if some of my supporters come to defend me, well, I don't give a crap, right? Because you know what? They have every right to defend me, right? Just like all the other guys try to defend you. But they won't be bullying like yous do. They'll just say, you know, Noel's entitled to his opinion, which I have seen. And then he's going to pick on those people too. Rabbi was actually even, because Rabbi this morning was defending me. Right, I seen this. Right, I was minding my own business this morning. I actually texted Lee. I think Lee might have actually went to bed early this morning because it was the first time
asthma attack.
He wasn't around, right? And I thought, oh Jesus, Lee must be gone to bed. That's great, right? So anyway, early that morning though, I see Rabbi is on Twitter. I'm like, what's going on here? And next of all, then he starts tagging me name, and I'm like, what's going on here? So I go in and look at a whole thread. And there's about 3 or 4 J-Bots, right? There. And Rabbi, the usual, trying to get them on the channel. You know, Mr. Carter's reviews is in the and he actually Rabbi brings it up and he goes, "Yeah, we know you're obsessed with no, you've got some obsession with nose on blah 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 blah." Of course, Carter's reviews, as he always does when he's backed into a corner, starts trying to twist. Listen, we've asked all these idiots, and I'm going to say it out straight here. Rabbi, on numerous occasions, have asked these idiots to come on, and I've asked them. Now, the excuse that we're getting is that one of them actually put up a little short clip of Rabbi. That's why I won't come on, because Rabbi acts stupid. No, you won't come on because you know that me, Rabbi, or any other YouTuber that you come up against will completely destroy your arguments. And then what you will do then is, because you are so predictable, is then you will resort to insults and then trying to, as you always do, move the goalposts in an argument. Do you always notice, actually, he does that a lot. He moves the goalposts. So listen to me, mate. Explain, right? Because you've been going around one of the biggest supporters of this timeless children's story arc and the fact that Tecteun murdered a child. And you keep going around saying Time Lords are evil, but she wasn't a Time Lord at the time. So explain yourself.
If Time Lords were evil, then, you know, and then they battled with the Daleks and they want to protect the timeline from being destroyed. I don't think that's a particularly evil thing to do.
The two of you have watched Doctor Who over the years, especially you, Lee. You've been around when the show was in its early days. So I want to ask you, right? Jodie, we've gotten all these little snippets of the Time Lords, right? Now, with everything that we've gotten, would you come to the conclusion that the Time Lords were, say, an evil race, a bad race? Or do you think, like I do, that they did things at the time because, you know, like everybody, when they're trying to survive, they kind of do things that they don't want to do, like what the Doctor did, you know? I know they rebooted it, but when he blew up Gallifrey, you know what I mean? He did it because there was a reason. He didn't do it because he was bad.
Well, he didn't do it. That's the point. He didn't do it. He thought he had. But that was a suppressed memory because he didn't. He and the other doctors figured out a way not to do that.
Exactly. So so the question I was going to ask about you is this. With all the stuff that we've been given about the Time Lords, what conclusion would you, or what would be your description of the Time Lords now? I'll
let Wolf and Storm go first.
No problem. Wolf and Storm.
Description of the Time Lords now is in like...
Yeah, how would
now?
If you were to describe them yourself, with everything that you've been presented over the years, right? What conclusion would you come to if you were to look at these Time Lords again and say, right, they're either evil, good, or whatever? So all the information that you've been given, try dismiss what Chris Chibnall has done. Just say up until Moffat, right? So classic up until Moffat's end of era. All the information that we got about the Time Lords, what would your description be of the Time Lords?
Well, I think that they started out with a decent idea in mind, that they wanted to technologically advance. But I think they put their eggs into the wrong basket with Rassilon, because it was obvious from the beginning that he was kind of not all there. And he stirred that he pushed them in the wrong direction and got them to a point where they went from being, as the Krillitanes had described at first, the dusty senators sitting high on the hill, never involving themselves and just being there to make sure that the time streams weren't fucked with, to thinking they were God. And it's not because of the Time Lords as a whole, because there's a distinct dichotomy between the Time Lords in the capital and the rest of the Gallifreyan people, who are just innocent people. Because not all Gallifreyans are taken to go to the academy at the age of 8. It's mostly just the highborn, the ones that come from the bigger, you know.
Yeah, and that's what she would have set up in this whole stupid story arc that Chris Chibnall has invented. But yeah, you're again but again, you wouldn't be seeing these Time Lords as evil, bad people like Nazis going around like trying to kill everybody.
They haven't colonialized anybody. I mean, they've got all the power in the universe. Like, they can control time if they wanted to. Thing is, they've been around for millennia. Okay, they've been around for time immemorial, to the point that they've advanced so far. They have fallen into a trap of becoming very stoic. They're very, as you say, dusty. They're very aloof. But I think you have to think about what that means to be a Time Lord, to be in that position of such great responsibility. It's overwhelming, amazing responsibility to deal with. They have to be strict with things because the whole universe depends on them as guardians of time itself to keep the rules clear, to make sure that those time streams are not used as weapons. And they do sit back. They have a non-interference policy because they have to, in order to keep everything safe. And that's a massive responsibility for any race. Okay, they fought all the ancient godlike races from the beginning of time, like the ancient vampires and stuff like that. I mean, this is a race that could have gone out and conquered the entire universe. But didn't.
Exactly, that's what I mean. And this is why I think their argument falls flat. I wouldn't even mind though, that's idiotic, most of them anyway, that when I did bring this up, and it has ruffled a few feathers, and I deliberately ruffled a few feathers. Listen, I don't know how many times I have to tell you idiots anyway, right? I keep saying that anytime I put up art on Twitter, I put it up in a way that's going to cause controversy. I do it deliberately. And the reason why I did this deliberately is because I wanted there to be a chat in the fandom. After that panel in Comic-Con actually came out and said what I've been saying since the Timeless Children, I was absolutely delighted. There's fans actually celebrating the fact that this happened. Because it's been a long time coming, because the BBC and other media outlets out there have been trying so hard to keep this under wraps. Oh no, everything is fine. The Timeless Children story arc is great. Everybody loves it. It's not the fact, and the fact that people are actually slagging this panel. As I said, as the Wolf and the Storm said, listen, even if they're not true fans to the sense of the word, right? They're normies, right? So they're the people that you have to try keep interested in the show. And if you're losing them, if you're losing the normie, right, that's when you're in trouble. And you are losing the normie. You've already lost the fandom, right? So the normie is what's going to keep this show going, or that's what BBC were back. Listen, this is what it was all the time. And I said this during Series 11. Chris Chibnall and BBC's aim was this all along. It was to replace the new fans, or to replace the old fans with new fans. That was it. They wanted to get rid of the fandom. They wanted to reinvent the fandom. They wanted to bring in a younger audience. But it's backfired. It's backfired on.
They're busy playing video games and anime stuff. You know, they're not interested. The problem is that the reason why Doctor Who's been so successful over so many decades is because they kept the old guard fans. Because it's them who raised their kids to watch Doctor Who.
Exactly.
You don't replace artificially with a brand new audience that doesn't exist.
Exactly.
Because once Jodie's gone, they go.
Exactly. Well, most of them will. Some of them will hang on because, you know, they won't leave without.
Well, they'll probably get another.
But I don't mind that. But we do have Marty with us as well. How are you, my friend?
Not so bad. Must have been. I was just joined your stream there when you were chatting at the start there. I was thinking, was there a case of mistaken identity?
No. It wasn't you that night anyway. We definitely know it wasn't you.
Well, we know it's not you because you're Irish.
but you did sound familiar. But I knew it wasn't you. But yeah, let's just forget that. I'll deal with that issue when it comes back up again, because I'm assuming at some stage they'll text me about it, and I'll just say what I'm going to do. But I'm not now. But anyway, Marty, welcome. We've got. Listen, I'm obviously streaming later on again. We're gonna. Father Ted has won, by the way.
Oh,
on the 2 polls. So we have Father Ted tonight. So we'll be starting that at 7 o'clock. So I'm going to finish up in 15 minutes here, take a half an hour break, and then come back Right, so Father Ted. So many of these movies are Father Ted box sets, or
What episode are you looking for?
try find it if you can.
It's on Netflix.
It's on there you go, Netflix
In the UK.
and join me for Father
It's on
Ted.
Channel
And if you
4,
don't
I
have
think,
it, come on
If you've
and
got a
join me.
VPN, you might be able. I think there's a way that you can log into Netflix from across the pond. If you've got a VPN, you can
I think it's
sign
on,
into the UK version. I think.
Channel 4 is on all 4 as well. I think you can watch it then.
Yeah,
Yeah.
all 4 have it. If you have a PlayStation and if you can get the all 4 app.
I think you need to set up an account first, though. So do that first.
What
Yeah,
episode are you going to watch?
Well, on the PlayStation, it's easy enough, though. The PlayStation is easy enough. You just download the app, and then because you've got an email on your PlayStation, it automatically asks you for a password. Then you create a new password, and then your account is set up. It literally takes 5 minutes to do. But Father Ted won. So Derry Girls was also there, but I did 2 polls to make sure it was fair. So I did one on Twitter. And Father Ted is winning on Twitter, and there's no way that Derry Girls is actually going to get enough votes in time for that one. And on YouTube, it's also won Father Ted. So it's Father Ted.
What episode are you thinking?
What?
What episode of Father Ted are you thinking?
Well, we're starting from the very beginning.
Oh, the very beginning. Good.
Yep. Let's start at the very beginning.
That's my favorite episode when Bishop Brennan comes to visit and they have to tidy up Father Jack. That's
I heard you're a racist now, Father.
I hear you're a racist.
That's one of my favorite episodes. Father, I heard you're a racist now. I'm not a racist. He hates the Greeks. I love that woman. And they come up with their jobs and they're women. And it's brilliant, man. I love it. I love that. Listen, Father Ted is one of these programs that is going to wind up the other side. Because, it's impolitically correct in today's society. Father Ted will be cancelled.
And it's also written by someone who's made controversial comments about women's rights and trans rights.
On Twitter, I was following him on Twitter until he got banned. Just before he got banned, he does have controversial opinions. He doesn't believe in the whole. We won't get into it, but he doesn't believe in the whole transgender thing.
He's made it clear that women's rights are very separate, so that's a totally different discussion altogether.
I think that would be an ecumenical matter.
Well, unfortunately, he was banned off Twitter. I mean, they banned Katie Hopkins because she's vile, but they banned him, and I mean, he's not as controversial as J.K. Rowling has been. Let's be honest, and she's still up. So, I mean, there seems to be an imbalance. If you're going to get rid of him, then you should get rid of JK and every other toxic person that you think. But they don't. They, it's voices like his that are actually getting through to people that they do. And listen, JK will at one stage be taken off Twitter because she will start getting through to people and people will start listening to her. And they can't have that. The other side can't have that. So she'll be removed, just like the rest of them. But back to this timeless children, because that's what we're here for. I want to kind of keep it to the subject from now on. But I mean, right, we spoke about the Time Lords. So we've already established that, that the Time Lords weren't evil and bad, like the other side make out to be. But
however, they did have the propensity, which is why they put those rules in place. The Doctor has said himself a million times that a Time Lord should never have that kind of power. Because
exactly.
I mean, look what happened with Waters of Mars.
Yeah. So
one wrong move, the universe will collapse if you gave a Time Lord that kind of power. That's what happened with Rassilon. I'm not saying that all the Time Lords were bad, but even when one goes off the rails like he did, the whole society collapsed.
And even on the end of the time, like as soon as Rassilon's aim obviously was to get back, and as soon as he got back through the White Point Star, he just, in my opinion, as a viewer watching it, he just seemed to have gone mad now that he'd been brought back into the universe. He was just willing to rage hell as long as him and the Time Lords could survive.
Well, I mean, Omega is another example. I mean, it's like when you've got that amount of power, I mean, you're going to go crazy. So why is it any different for Tecteun? Why didn't she go crazy?
Because she's a woman. That's why.
I think there is a legitimate.
Yeah, that's it. Again, it doesn't make sense. Problem being, you bring up a very good point again. But to say, listen, this all boils down to one man, right? And he's writing to him. And this is why I said for the last few weeks that we should be focusing on him. Because if we go through series 11 and 12, we're going to find massive plot holes. We're going to find, underdeveloped characters. This is where we should have actually kept all our focus on instead of focusing on Whittaker. And I do actually see that the J-bots are actually annoyed that we have actually changed tack, because there's a few that have actually wrote up, they call us the Not My Doctors, of course. They say, the Not My Doctors are getting smart now. They're not criticising Jodie Whittaker anymore. And it's annoying them and upsetting them, because that's what they live for. They live for us to give out about Jodie Whittaker so we can give their little lives meaning. So that's why I keep telling you all, don't be talking about Jodie. There's no need. We all know Jodie Whittaker's faults. We all know the stuff that she has said. We all know that we don't like her, right? The main focus here is Chris Chibnall. He's the one that's writing for her. He's the one that has ran this show into the ground. So he is the one, as far as I'm concerned, that we should be focusing more on. And we'll be doing a lot more streams about this. And you know what? I might even do myself, because I know, trust me, I don't want to do this, but I might do it, because for the simple fact is, I do believe that fans should be made aware of all these plot holes. I might go back and rewatch series 11 and 12 again and actually do a retrospect review and point out all the plot holes and all the things that is wrong, because Chris Chibnall is a huge culprit here. He is the one that has made the decisions, and he is the one that has basically made every piece of fan fiction reality, because it is his whole. I mean,
that story he admitted.
Someone said, Lee, about that whole scene. That whole scene was lazy, because he backed himself into a corner. He didn't know what to do, and then he gave us that fucking crappy, bloody 5-minute or 2-minute explanation and fucking flash forward, flashback or whatever. Right?
Yeah, no lines from any of the Timeless children. No lines from Tecteun, this strong, independent woman of science. Yeah, exactly. And it's how insulting, quite honestly.
Nothing. This woman was held up.
The most important woman in Gallifreyan history.
I don't care what you say she was. She was held up on a pedestal. She's been described as warm, right? There is no way she goes from that. The child, this is what annoys me, right? So I'm just going to, right? So she brings the child home. She looks after the child. She educates the child, right? You can actually see within that little scene, she's a loving mother, right? The child has an accident, right? And then she turns into this psychopathic, murdering, experimenting scientist. Like, what the hell? What the hell? Doesn't make any sense.
No. I'm going to have to jump off here, but I'll be back on for your Father Ted stream.
No problem, Marty. Thanks for popping in anyway. No, you're grand. Thanks for popping in. And I'll see you during the Right, that's Marty gone. But you get what I'm saying? Look, it just doesn't make any sense. None of these characters make sense. Yaz is a cop. Yeah? What copping has she done? None. Right? Ryan has a disability. When is that ever shown? Many times was that shown during 2 seasons. 3 times or something. Not good enough. Graham, mourning his wife after she had cancer, goes up to the doctor. Listen, I'm worried about my cancer coming back. I'm socially awkward. Fuck off. Right? Not good enough. Right? So you J-bots can say what you want. This is not good enough. Right? And if you think that's good enough, well then I'm sorry, I'm going to call you out.
You're not exactly the arbiters of great taste, I'd say, at best. It's like if you can settle on that and think that that's great writing and great performance, I maybe that's why we fail to communicate, because I tend to speak with people who are at least capable of critical thinking, because that is not by any measure great work. At all. It really is.
I have an idea.
It's embarrassingly bad.
I have an idea. And I mean this sincerely, right? 2 Jodie Whittaker fans. 2 fans of this era. 2 fans that have no problem with this story arc. the timeless children, the murdering of a child. 2 of you, come on to this channel. We will organise a stream, right? We'll organise it for next week. And I promise you right here and now that you will get the have I say. You tell us why we're wrong. Then I will tell you why you are wrong. And then we'll have a debate about it. Now, you are more than welcome. I'm putting the offer out there. So, Dr. Freedom, because you seem to have a problem with that, and I say, if you would like to come on this channel,
I would love to chat with Dr. Freedom.
Defend the timeless children and defend this era of Doctor Who, you're more than welcome. Mr. TARDIS Reviews is another one that has a problem with me. If you would also like to come on to this channel and actually defend this shit, then you're more than welcome to do so. Now, I've put the offer out there. I'm not putting the offer out anymore. I'm sick and tired of putting offers out and they're not. Then we're told then when we have an argument, well, they won't debate us.
Of course, Rabbi did have someone come on.
If you 2 idiots, because that's what you are to me, because you have a problem with me, so I have every right to call you idiots, right? Because you've gone around slagging me on Facebook and on Twitter and other platforms, right? So you obviously have a problem with me. Well, come and face me. Come onto this channel, have your say what you want to say about me as well, and then I'll tell you why you are wrong.
And Rabbi did have someone who came on from their side, and all he could do was tell Rabbi to shut up and to call him an effing idiot and stuff.
And Rabbi were screwing behind their wives' backs, because that's the type of idiot that we get, right? When someone does agree to come on, then they just resort to insults. And I will make this clear, by the way. If you do come on, there will be no insults from me, because I'm actually very fascinated to actually hear how your brain works and what comes out of your mouth. So I will listen to what you have to say, right? So I've said it now. The offer is out there. Dr. Freedom and Mr. TARDIS Reviews, because you 2 seem to have a problem with me over the last few weeks, especially Ballstreck as well. I've seen Mr. TARDIS Reviews have a few words to say about him, calling him a white supremacist. Well, here's your opportunity now to come on to this channel, explain yourself for starters, defend your stance, and then I will have then the right to a reply. So if you want to come on, the 2 of you are more than welcome to come on this channel, because I'm sick and tired of this. If not, shut the fuck up about me and shut the fuck up about Ballstreck, right? Okay? Because all you are, if you don't come on, then all you are is a bunch of yellow belly chicken shit pieces of crap, right? And I've no time for you. So my advice to you is either come on to this show or shut the hell up. Yeah? Shut the hell up, right? I know our channels are struggling right now, and I know you have 3 times the subscribers I have. Don't really care, but our channels are struggling, and the only reason why you are coming after me is because you could see, like everybody else, when someone comes after me, the numbers go up, and that's the only reason why these J-bots come after me, to do a video about me, and then that video becomes the most viewed video. It's the only reason why they come after me, because coming after me is actually profitable for their channels, right? So you either come on to this channel or shut up talking about me, Ballstreck, and all my friends, because we're done with you, right? So the offer is there. If you want to come on, come on. If not, shut up, as I said. Right. Done. I found Ballstreck 5 years ago and was hooked. But Ballstreck is on YouTube the last 13 years. And the reason why he's been so successful is because he does know when to take a break. And he does take a break. He takes a break every year. He takes a few weeks here and there, and it helps him recharge his batteries. So that's why he's been able to survive. And by the way, he'll survive even longer than probably my channel and other channels out there. My future on YouTube is up in the air right now, because every stream that I do is being sabotaged in some way. They don't want, listen, BBC don't want me to talk, and the J-bots don't want me to talk. And they're trying everything in their power to shut me up. And, let's be honest, one day they will succeed.
If they spent half the time using that energy into making their own videos, making why it's great, rather than attacking you, surely that would be a better use of their time.
Exactly, and I say to the Whittaker fans out there that do have a problem with the writing, come out and say something, though. You aren't betraying Whittaker if you
We've got your back.
Right? What you're doing is you're trying to protect Whittaker. Listen, I know it's not all down to her. Do I think she'd do better with better writing? Personally speaking, no. Right? But to other people, she might. You know, but at the end of the day, if she had better writers, yeah, then I would give it a go and see. But then if she was crap, and I seen she was crap, I'd call her out. That's just the way it is. But at the end of the day, it's like this series has not been written great at all. It's so poor, and it's so poor.
It's demonstrably bad. It's demonstrably
bad. Success. It's not a success. This is not how you measure success. It's not. And you can give it out to me and say, but he's still going on after 3 years. When you're still praising her after 3 years, you're still praising this era. So I'm not going to stop. So I'm sorry, you ain't shutting me up. You know what I mean? And you're not going to shut up these fans either. You're not going to shut up the rest of us. You know. And by the way, I will be doing a stream in the next few weeks where I'll just be having on all the ladies that I can get my hands on. I know that sounds bad.
Me too.
All the ladies in the fandom. And I'm going to get them on for a stream because I think it's important. Because if you were to listen to the other side, right, it's mostly all men. Yes. Have a problem with Jodie Whittaker, but that ain't the case. That ain't the case. Actually, I would make the bold statement and say that there's more women that actually have a problem with this doctor than men.
Absolutely, absolutely. And you know something? It's not even because. Some of it is because of the writing and what she's been left with and how horrible that she's been as the doctor. But I think the irritation is mostly because for someone who claims to be a professional at her job, we are pissed off because she is laying back and allowing it to happen. She has, as an actress with a platform and a mouth and a spine, supposedly, you would think she would have the wherewithal to give a damn and say something if she thinks something is wrong. Most actors do. At least I'm fairly certain that if they get a script and they don't agree with something in it, that they say something to the director or to the writer. Or
the Wolf of the Storm. This happens all the time. We do hear it when especially when actors are going around doing their interviews for movies and the journalist will ask them a question. They'll say, yeah, well, the director told me not to read the book, and blah blah blah, but then I went and I did it anyway because I wanted to understand the role, and then the director said to me, well, you made the right decision, I was wrong. You're right. That's what Jodie Whittaker should do, and she had a backbone and a spine. She would have said to Chris Chibnall, no, I think I should look at it because I need to understand this role because I need to give it my best shot. And this is the thing. Someone said to me last night that, and you're actually proving the point that I made. Someone actually said to me last night, a Jodie Whittaker supporter, well, you can't blame Jodie Whittaker because she's just playing what's on the script. And I said, exactly.
Like everyone else.
That's the problem. She's not putting her own personality into it. She's not just supposed to read off the page. She's supposed to put her own unique take on this role.
I think she's probably put too much of herself into the role.
For her. She is copying David Tennant and Matt Smith. She's not putting any... Listen, I hear the J-bots all the time say, oh, she has Matt Smith and David Tennant traits. Well, you never said that about... right, because here's the example I'm going to give. When David Tennant came along, we never said he had Christopher Eccleston traits. When Matt Smith came along, we didn't say that he had David Tennant traits. Right? When Peter Capaldi came along, we didn't say that he had the traits of all the other three doctors beforehand. They put their own... That's why the show
Smith is interesting.
Is because they put their own personality into it, and she hasn't put her personality into it. And if that is her personality, well, then I'm sorry. She's boring. She's a boring human being, right? Because
I have to say, Smith is an interesting one because he came into this pretty blind as well. He wasn't a fan. He didn't grow up with it. He was part of that generation which grew up during that 16-year phase where we didn't have any Doctor Who apart from the movie, and he went back and he actually researched the roles. He watched a story, I think, at least from each Doctor. He fell in love with Troughton's Doctor. And now he is a fan. He's got stuff in his in that interview he did with HBO. He had like stuff, Doctor Who stuff on his.
Of course, because
he became a fan. I can't say that Jodie is a fan of Doctor Who. She isn't. She doesn't care. She's not interested. It's a job. It's nothing more than a job.
The Death Zone, I want to bring it up because it has been mentioned. So another excuse the J-bots have been using is the Death Zone, right? Now the Death Zone, for anybody that doesn't know, featured obviously in the Five Doctors story. Now. They compare. They say, well, the Time Lords had the Death Zone. Well, do you know what the Death Zone was for? See, this is the thing, right? I know what happens. You see someone on YouTube or Twitter that kind of knows a little bit of their stuff about Doctor Who, and will put up a tweet like that, right, and say, well, Null Zone is wrong because the Time Lords had the Death Zone, right? And then you just take that piece of information and then you go, well, no, what about the Death Zone, right? The Death Zone, for anybody that doesn't know, obviously the Death Zone in the Five Doctors, we were told that the Death Zone was used by Rassilon and also by the time it was like kind of like where they had war games. It's like the Daleks would be scooped up and the Cybermen would be scooped up. Another thing as well that actually Chris Chibnall failed to mention in his era was the fact that, you know, if you watched his story arc with the Time Lords, apparently this was the first time that the Cybermen were on Gallifrey in the Timeless Children, but they weren't. They were in the Five Doctors. But you see, again, because fans are so stupid and they don't do their research, you know, they totally ignore that. But the Death Zone didn't kill children, and that's my point that I'm trying to make. These were and then they tried to say, so you're okay that the Death Zone doesn't kill children, but you're okay for killing other alien races. Well, are you defending the Daleks, are you?
That zone was manipulated.
Are you defending the Cybermen, are you?
That zone was manipulated by I can't remember the character's name. That's been so long since I watched the Five Doctors. Not Omega. It was Rassilon, wasn't it? Well, Rassilon. That's Rassilon's resting place, right?
Yeah, that was his.
That's where you find immortality, and
that's right.
I want to protect that. If that gets into the wrong hands, as it was being tried to do by was it the Cardinal? I can't remember.
Yeah.
It was a booby trap zone. It pretty much like something from Indiana Jones. You know, you want to protect Rassilon's legacy, where you can achieve immortality. Now, if anyone can just go there, I mean, it was also manipulated by someone who wanted to get immortality and was quite willing to use it. This was a road.
I have it here, right? So this is for you,
Bruiser.
Jay.
Thank you.
We're going to educate you a little bit, right? We're going to educate you now, right? So here we go. I've got the Death Zone. So I went into the wiki, the fandom wiki that they have, right? So it was first seen in the Five Doctors, the Death Zone, right? But it also had appearances in audios as well. Okay, Desperate Measures, Engines of War, Five Doctors, the Five Doctors Special Edition. Right, so the Death Zone was an area of Gallifrey used during the dark time when Time Lords pitted combatants against each other in the game of Rassilon. Nothing about children, though. The Time Lords used the time scoop, as I said, to put beings out of time and place them in the Death Zone, where they would play the game and try to destroy each other. Daleks and Cybermen were never allowed because they played too well. According to official history, Rassilon himself put a stop to the game for a control room located within the capital, only accessible by playing the right tune on the harp of Rassilon, which we also see. A person could activate the use of the time scoop to capture beings. When a being had been captured, a figure of them would be created, which we've seen in the Five Doctors. I won't go into the whole thing, but there you go. Basically, as we said, the Death Zone was basically set up. It's like one of those. It's like that Sontaran experiment kind of thing, where the Sontaran was on the planet doing experiments, blah, blah, trying to hone different techniques. Same with the Death Zone. This would have been a place where the Time Lords basically would have honed their combatant skills basically for when they were fighting in, obviously, the Time War.
Not just any aliens, but, specific warlike aliens. Problematic ones.
Exactly. There would have been aliens that were a danger to the Time Lords that wanted to destroy the Time Lords. So again, if you're going to bring up things like the Death Zone, make sure that you actually do your research, because again, that doesn't prove that the Time Lords were evil. As I have said, every country around the world has been affected by 2 world wars. Now, Britain during 2 world wars, the Americans, whatever countries involved in the world war at the time, right? They would have having to do things that they wouldn't necessarily do. Same thing with the Time Lords. They would have having to do things that they wouldn't necessarily have to do. But does that mean that they're all evil and bad? No, it doesn't. When you're desperate, when your world, like Gallifrey, which we are saying, has been under attack constantly, you will do anything to save your people. You will go to those lengths. You see, you don't understand. See, these people don't understand. You don't understand, because none of you would actually, if there was another world war, would use sacrifices themselves and fight on the front line, because you're all a bunch of chicken shits, right? But when you're involved in war, and we had one here in Ireland, we had civil wars, and we had the British occupy this country for 800 years and stuff like that, right? But people do, when they're oppressed, when they're in danger, when their whole existence, their future is in danger, they will do things and they will use technologies that they wouldn't necessarily use before. Does that make them bad? No, it doesn't. It doesn't whatsoever. And that's where I am on that whole situation. So again, Tecteun was not a Time Lord when she murdered the Timeless Child. So that whole argument that you have had from the very beginning that the Time Lords are bad, that's why you are wrong. And the Death Zone excuse as well, as I said, wrong again. Listen, there's no point in us having these arguments with us, because we'll win every time. And you might have 2 YouTubers out there, or a couple of YouTubers out there, that might back up what you say, but even they don't believe the bullshit that they're coming out with.
It seems to me that they're quite happy to run off and reach for something to use, anything they can get their hands on to fight back with. It's like, well, really,
we'll have a lot of fighting back to do.
You have to reach that far back.
These streams are not going away, so there'll be another one on Chris Chibnall. We'll be going into more in-depth detail. This will be happening over the next few weeks. We'll be having different panels on. We'll be discussing all the plot holes and all the stuff that has happened. Because it's about time that we did. We've got to listen. The way I am now is this: every time they make an argument, it's our job as fans on this side of the fandom to disprove every argument that they make. And to be honest with you, 90% of the arguments that they make, we can actually beat with facts. And this is what we need to start doing. So more streams like this will be happening. We will be talking more about Chris Chibnall and his plot holes and all of that other stuff. We will be delving into all these characters as well, because I do believe when we start looking at these characters and actually breaking them all down, we will see that there's not actually much substance with them all. And with that, I am going to have to finish, because I've got 20 minutes now until we do the Father Ted one, and I don't want to kind of go over. So we will be streaming over the weekend. Obviously, we have Classic Who Watch Along tomorrow. We have New Who on Sunday. And as I said, we'll be doing more of these streams. So Monday, Tuesday, whatever I'm on, we will be doing more of these streams. But before we go, logically, Tecteun cannot be a Time Lord. Literally not possible, says Geek Union. Well, she would have been the first, because she did inject herself. So if you go by Chris Chibnall's canon, she is officially the first Time Lord. But of course, she'd already experimented and done her experiment in the murder of the child. So after she became a Time Lord, she wasn't a murderous psychopath, because then she set up our faction then, obviously, as we've seen in the Timeless Children. And then it went on from there. But again, this is not acceptable as the origins of the Time Lords. The murder, the kidnapping, and experimentation of an innocent child. Remember, a refugee, by the way, a child that wasn't even hers.
Rather than trying to get it home.
Yeah, exactly. And Lee did make the point. I mean, if you're in front of a big fucking portal there, and you're a bleeding scientist, right? And you see a little girl there, right?
In
Your
distress.
first thought isn't to like, oh, I'm going to take this little girl now and bring her home. No. What you're going to do is you're going to say, yeah, well, listen, we're going to find your parents, right? We're going to see why you're here. We're going to check this portal out because, I'm a scientist. That's what I do. And then I'm going to see if I can find your parents. And if not, then I might have to take you home. Is that okay? Till we find your parents. Something like that. But no, that's not what happened. She just took the fucking child, went back to Gallifrey, looks after the child for a few years. Child has an accident, and then she turns into a psychopath. With that. So before we do go, I'm going to give you both the chance to mention what platforms you are on and give yourselves a bit of a shout out. And if one of me moderators in the chat could also put their channels also up in the live chat, I would appreciate that. We are back in 15 minutes for Father Ted, so you're getting spoiled. Lee, if you want to join me for that, actually, because I
love Father Ted, happily.
I wouldn't mind a bit of company. Doing Father Ted if you want to. If you don't like Father Ted, tell me and I'll get someone that
I feckin' love it.
Okay, right. Well, Lee will be joining me on that panel for Father Ted. Actually, Wolf in the Storm, have you got Father Ted available?
Unfortunately, I'm not in Ireland, so no.
There's a way. There's a way we could guarantee it to even get you to watch the first even episode with us. Well,
I do want to say this though that
go ahead, yeah, go on, give your shout out anyway. Go do what you're doing anyway. Go for it.
If you guys want to check me out on YouTube, it's the Wolf and the Storm. Check me out on Twitter.
And if you don't, you'll have me.
Storm78.
By the way, if you don't, you will have me to deal with. Yeah. If you don't,
because if you're gonna complain about me, I'm not a troll because I'm actually a female fan, so that doesn't like this.
Oh no, you're not. Listen, you're not a female fan. No, you're not because you don't like Jodie Whittaker. So you're
internalized misogyny.
I don't know what they call. I don't know what the J-bots call a woman that actually doesn't like Jodie Whittaker's doctor. Actually, J-bots, I know a few years are watching. Does any of you want to come into the chat and tell me what you call women in our fandom that actually don't like Jodie Whittaker? Because she's called us sexist, misogynistic pigs. So are they? Is the Wolf and the Storm the same because she's a woman? Just want to ask, like, for a friend.
No.
But you see what I mean? How ridiculous it is. It's ridiculous. And I mean, we've already seen one of our friends being bullied offline. And I do know Rabbi did a stream earlier today. I would like you to check that stream. Obviously, after I finish streaming me 2 streams, then go and check out his video. Obviously, I want to keep you on this. But he did an interesting stream. Last night, one of the dickheads that actually was responsible for having Starry-Eyed Girl could go off Twitter was piping up again. And he needs to shut his mouth, to be quite honest with you. But he's heavily entrenched with all the main players that were involved in bullying me over the last few weeks. And this person is still continuing because, he must be a Mr. Carter's Review fanboy. Because anytime Mr. Carter's Reviews has anything to say about me or Ballstrek, he's on straight away given how toxic fans are. Mate, would you like to tell everybody how you bullied a woman offline and then you tried to basically twist it and tried to say it was her fault?
And was liking tweets by someone else. He was liking tweets. He was liking tweets by someone else, calling her a ding-dong, the witch is dead, calling her a B-word. So he was liking all those, but that's acceptable, apparently. That's acceptable misogyny. Yeah.
So Ginger Snap. And yeah, I do call him Ginger Snap because he's ginger. If he's going to go around and attack my friends, right, and he's going to go around and bully women offline, which he has, then I'm going to call him whatever I feel like calling him. So Ginger Snap, listen up, mate. As I said before, pipe down. I know you listen to me streams anyway because, you are all obsessed. But pipe down, mate. because I'm telling you now, and I'm going to give you a warning. And yes, I am giving you a warning. This isn't a threat. This is a warning. I'm going to give you a warning. You continue to do what you do. Yeah. We have screenshots of all your tweets, including the time when you had a go at Starry. Right. So this is what will happen. If you continue your campaign of hate towards any member of this, or any person that supports this channel, or myself, or Ballstrek, any of my friends, I'm going to do a stream and I'm going to actually show everybody your tweets. I'm going to expose you. Now, don't worry, I won't do it on this channel because I'm not that thick. I'll do it on the other channel, but I will expose you. You need to shut up now. I'm not going to have people like you go around thinking it's okay to bully women out of this fandom, because that's what you did. And the funny thing is, he's having conversations with Ben Cook, Emily, Beth from the Time Ladies. I hope you guys are aware that you are actually interacting with a bully.
Well, I mean, Benjamin Cook's a bully anyway, so I mean, he doesn't have a conscience.
And BBC as well. And I've tagged the BBC. And by the way, as me and Lee have said a few weeks ago, because I don't know if anybody has been sending stuff to Lee, but Lee has asked us to send screenshots of nasty, vile behaviour from these people, so we can actually tag the BBC, because that's what we've been doing. We've been tagging the BBC because we want BBC to be made aware that this is the fandom that they're actually pandering to. A bunch of bullies, toxic bullies that don't know anything about the show's history, claim to know a lot, but they don't. They listen to other people, and you know the ones.
They get their talking points from someone else.
Yeah, exactly. It's always the same bleeding line. Look, you read off a script, and the script is getting old now. We're all done with this. But I'm telling you now, man, you want to shut up talking about me, Ballstrek, and everybody else, right? Because you're a bully. And I tell you, you have me blocked. It's a pity you have me blocked, because I'm being honest with you. I would have went on and said, who the hell are you talking
I put him on mute ages ago.
Yeah.
I can't be bothered.
But he needs to stop. And the rest of you are his friends as well. You know who you are as well. I see yous haven't piped down either. You all need to pipe down. As I said, I ain't going.
I will say that I have made a couple of nice friends from the other side from the tobacco yesterday, who are very sweet, very nice people. So just bear in mind as well.
Yeah, I know.
Not you, no. Wait.
I know there are friends on the Jodie with
Yeah, but I mean, what I'm trying to say is that anyone of our side, we don't condone anyone going in there, setting up sock puppet accounts and using the same tactics that they do. We do not tolerate that nonsense.
Yeah.
And bearing in mind, we are complaining about the fact that people are using these sort of tactics, and it's come a lot from their side. We don't condone it from our side. We won't put up with that stuff. And bearing in mind that people are human beings, and we must try and remember that we can't keep making this mistake of dehumanizing the human experience.
From Ace Creeper. I mean, I had a message from Ace Creeper to tell me that he goes, he was just basically saying, I don't have a problem with you. And I was like, I didn't know what the hell was going on. And it was because I retweeted his tweet. And then I will say this, if there are people on their side, right, and I don't believe it for a second anyway, I do believe it is the other side, and I made that clear to him. I says, no, listen, mate, that count is just had to be set up. This is clearly the same people that were bullying me. They've been trying to get you involved in the last couple of weeks, because if you remember, they tried to say that me and you are going to be streaming and that's going to be fake. I says, listen, this is a blatant attempt by the other side, but I says, I am sorry if you have received that threat. But you see, this is what they're doing now. I'm retweeting other people's tweets because they want to shut me up, and then they're going off and they're attacking those people, right, to make me look bad. Well, again, I'm not going to stop retweeting people's tweets that come onto my profile that I don't even follow that have a go at me. And I'm certainly not going to stop retweeting tweets of people that have a go at me either. Now, he came to me. He was very nice to me. And he said, I don't have a problem with you, Noel. I said, I don't have a problem with you either. I don't know where this all come from. But the guy was receiving death threats. So I will say, if anybody on this side of the fandom has engaged in any of that sort of behavior, I want you gone, because you do not represent this channel. You do not represent Lee or anybody else in this fandom.
No one speaks for me. I speak for
That
myself.
sort of behaviour. We have reported that account in question, by the way, and we got reports back from it, so it should be taken down. But again, this is a deliberate attempt from the other side now to rope in other YouTubers to come after me. Now, if you other YouTubers fall for that and actually do come after me, well, I'm just going to let you know that I'm going to utterly destroy it.
What I've said to a couple of them who
I'm not playing
chatting to me in DMs, and they're sweet, lovely people, is that if they notice anything from who claims to be from our side doing this kind of thing, is to report it to me directly.
Yes,
and I'll do the same in return to them, because we need to come together on this, because this is not acceptable.
I agree.
And we all know this is not acceptable, because we were both victims.
That's listening. If you have been, if you have had stuff like that sent to you, as Lee said, make me aware, make Lee aware. We will post it up. Listen, we do not.
We will report them just as much as you.
Yeah, but we, of course, we'll report it as well. But I'm just saying, we will report it too, because that sort of behaviour does not fly with us. Now, people will say, but no, you engage in that behaviour. I think you all seem to forget that I get attacked first, so I defend myself. I never, and you can check, I never go after anybody first. Or even if I retweet someone's tweet because I don't agree with them, that doesn't mean I'm going after that person. It just means I don't agree with their point of view. I think you, J-Bots, need to understand what actually going after someone is, because trust me, I have not engaged in any of the behaviour that I've been accused of. Because, you know, as I said, I do my ass kicking in front of you. Right, if I've got anybody to call out, I'm after doing it tonight. I do.
Yeah, if anyone thinks that Noel is the sort of person to set up fake accounts and all this, listen, what you hear is what you get, and you know he's not afraid to speak his mind. So why on earth would he use such boring, dull-minded tactics?
Last night, was it last night or the night when we did that stream? I couldn't even fucking what you call it, paste and copy a bloody link into the chat. I had to get Daryl to do it. I had to actually get Daryl to do it. I couldn't do it. Like, you know what I mean? And these are the same people that say, "Oh, he's got all these multiple." Listen, even if I could make them up, why would I waste my time? I wouldn't waste my time on you.
You've got your platform, no. You I mean, if I was gone. All right. I mean, if he was doing all these weird ass tactics, why would he bother using his channel? Why to talk and speak his mind? You don't have to like it. You don't have to like it, but at the same time, he's not the type to go off and then sort of I'm gonna do all these weird ass tactics to wind them up.
You know that Algernon Wells guy on Twitter just personally followed me. Personally, followed me.
That's a bit freaky.
Well, actually, it's funny. I've got a couple.
I muted him so he can piss into the wind.
I don't know why you follow me. He disagrees with literally everything I post, so I don't know why you bother.
That follows me that disagrees with anytime I put up a post, Wolfenstorm, there's always one person that will have something to say about it. Listen, you're going to get that. Unfortunately, that's the way it is. Even on Rabbi. Listen, when we first met Rabbi, and still to this day, he's the most optimistic person. He's probably the least militant of us all. But yeah, even now, he's getting grief. He can't listen. It doesn't matter if once you disagree with the rest of them. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter whether you're as militant as me or you're as less militant as Rabbi. The bottom line is, because you had something to say about Sirius this era or Doctor Who, this Sirius or Jodie Whittaker, you're automatically enemy number one. So before you go, because listen, I'm at the running over time now, and I've got the other stream set up, guys. So if some of you want to make your way over there, go for it. But do us a favor, guys, just give you our channels a quick mention before we start. And join us in the chat, by the way, Wolfenstorm. If you want to, so you can hear the fun and laughter that we're going to have with Father Ted, because if you haven't never seen Father Ted,
try and get a copy if you can find it online.
Yes, is actually go on to YouTube and actually just put in Father Ted, and watch his best bits even, and you'll get some idea of what the type of show it is. But it's funny. I remember when it came out at the time, RTE didn't want to pick it up because they thought it'd be too controversial. So Channel 4 decided, which is it's gas, isn't it? It's an Irish sitcom, but bought by Channel 4 because the Irish RTE didn't want to pick it up. But then, when Channel 4 picked it up and it became successful, guess what happened? RTE then picks it up, and it's always the way with those clowns. You know, they could have had the biggest hit on their hands, but it ended up being a Channel 4 hit. But they could have had that themselves, but they chose not to because they thought it'd be too controversial, because Ireland was a very religious country back then. Even then, when bloody funny. Right, give you our channels a shout out, use our social media accounts, and we'll finish up, guys.
You can find me at Being Problem at Twitter. I really got bugger all of my channels.
And he'll be there engaging some J-bot because they just can't leave us alone. And someone will put up something. And Lee will go in with his logic, you know, but there's no logic. You can't talk logic to these people. They resort to moving the goalposts.
I think they're more interested in thinking of the talking point that's been handed to them rather than actually thinking about things through logically. Exactly. Fair enough, but at the same time, I mean, simple thing. Why didn't she try and just take the child through the gate back? You know, that's the first thing you try.
I've moved the stream 15 minutes, right? So it'll be on at 7:15 instead because we've run over. But Wolfenstorm, just before we finish up there, and Chris has put all the channels up in the chat. But have you got anything up and coming on the channel?
I do tend to go around and look for Doctor Who media, like articles. So I will probably do a video of my own one if I find anything new that's interesting. Because right now it's kind of quiet, as it were, so don't really have much to. But just look. Although I will be tomorrow afternoon. You guys can catch me on Bluebonnet Hoovian's channel. I'm going to be doing a review panel with her for the Highlander movie, the original movie. So if you want to catch me on that one, I will be there. Or you guys can, as always, catch me on Twitter at Wolf and Storm. And as I said in that GIF I posted last night, don't put all female fans of Doctor Who into one basket. Because Jodie, honey, if you think we all just love you, we fucking don't.
I love that.
What you really mean.
I love it. But it's the truth.
And we had a nice little chat as well on Wolf and Storm's channel as well, if you want to check that out.
By the way, I'm just being told by DSB that Father Ted is actually on Daily Motion.
Not that we condone Daily Motion.
Well, no, you can join into Daily Motion. It's legit. I get it on the PlayStation 4.
Well, it is full of adverts, but I mean, you know.
It is full of adverts, but you will get it. They're only 20-minute episodes, so there'll probably be one bloody advert in it. But it is
legitimate and less.
Now, what I would suggest is, though, because they won't have the episodes in order on Daily Motion. You know what Daily Motion's like. Just write up Father Ted and get the episode because they all have names. I'll tell you, if any of you are watching on Daily Motion and joining us, I will tell you what the name of the first episode is. But that's it. We're done. I hope you have enjoyed this stream. Remember to like, share, subscribe, and share the hell out of this video. We will be having more streams like this. Now, some of you will say, but why are we rehashing the same things up? Well, we're coming close to the serious announcements being made and stuff like that. And the thing about it is that even after the Timeless Children, we didn't really do many streams on Chris Chib or break it down. Nobody really has. I think one or two have, but other than that, there hasn't been much. We've been concentrating on other stuff. But over the next few weeks, we'll be doing a lot, and that will lead all the way up to the big stream revolution of the Whovians. Now, I still see the other side are still sharing and retweeting that. Thank you very much. We really do appreciate you promoting the stream.
If you do find anyone, if you do find anyone promoting that, please, I'll put a link to the video. If you can just post it wherever you see the hashtag Revolution of the Hoovians.
I've been doing. Thank them as well, because it's a lovely thing what the J-bots are doing. The fact that they'd be willing to promote our stream. Listen. All joking aside, they think they've hijacked or cured this hashtag. This hashtag is meaningless, right? We've already got hashtags. We've got Hartnell First and RIP Doctor Who, which have trended in this fandom already, right? We don't need a third hashtag. This is to promote our stream. So I know the other side think by taking this hashtag they're going to turn it into something positive. There's nothing to turn it into, because, as I said, if you think there's a revolution, you are clearly stupid. The revolution already happened. 7 million households tuned out. So, I mean, good luck with that. But thank you again. And I do have to give you credit that you still continue to share it, even though we've made it clear that this hashtag isn't an actual hashtag for some sort of battle cry for some sort of revolution. The revolution already happened. Myself and Lee had to trick the other side somehow. Obviously, we tricked some of you on this side, and we're sorry about that. But we did need to trick the other side, and it worked perfectly. And they're still using the hashtag. So if you do see people on the other side use that hashtag, do me a favor, go in, say thank you for promoting the Tarda Zone stream. And make sure that you do. You're not being smart, you're just thanking them. Because, at the end of the day, they think, as I said, they think that they've stolen this hashtag because they think it's a hashtag, or it's a hashtag for they think it's a hashtag for the reasons that they think it's a hashtag. It's not. We feel just as we always do. And, thanks for promoting me stream. But that stream will be happening. Myself and Lee are working behind the scenes. I've already had a few words with a couple of people. I'm just going to see how it goes. I've basically sent out a shitload of invites, and I'm just waiting to see who I get word off, and then we will have that stream. Well, obviously, we're not going to tell you when. It'll be a surprise. Obviously, the week of the stream there'll be heavy promotion, and then you will know that it's going to happen sometime within the next week or two of all that promotion happening. But for now, this hashtag was a nice little way of getting people aware of this stream. So the more people post this hashtag Revolution of the Hoovians, the more you're promoting the stream. So please continue to do so. And thank you, as I said, to everybody that has watched tonight. And I will talk to you in a few minutes. We are going to go over now to the other stream, and we're going to get ready for Father Ted. And feck, arse, drink, as Captain Jack would say. I will talk to you all soon. To Wolf in the Storm, and Problem Being, thank you for being on tonight. Really appreciate it. And to all my guests, well, I will see some of you over on the other stream now. So I'll talk to you in a few minutes. But thank you for taking part, guys. I really appreciate it. And don't forget, Father Ted is on Daily Motion if you want to join us. I leave you with Lee's beautiful intro, outro. By the way, I checked StreamYard. That 30-second countdown that we had has been added actually by StreamYard, so it must be a new feature. So there must be a couple of new. I haven't actually checked it, but there might be a couple of other new features on this. So yeah, I decided to do the little countdown first and then do the track because I want to see what it was like. It's actually pretty good, but I'm not going to do the countdown again. Just straight into the title. So thank you again, Lee, for this. Really appreciate it. This is absolutely epic. I love this intro. Someone actually made a comment, said that your intro was better than Jodie Whittaker's. So there you go.
Thank you.
See you in a few minutes.